Hello, I'm the Guitar Geek, and this is the first in hopefully many interviews that I'm going to be doing. This one is with James Gascoigne of James's Home of Tone. You can find him at homeoftone.co.uk. James is a small business. He's a boutique specialist guitar store, UK distributor for McNelly Pickups, a main dealer for Prisma Guitars, Mule Resophonic, Titan Guitars, Jackson Audio, Yellowcake. It goes on and on. He's doing some really nice stuff. So I thought I'd ask him for a chat, and he thankfully agreed. I want to bring you possibly one of the nicest people I've ever met online. Such a nice guy, and he really knows his stuff and has a real passion for the guitar business. Without further ado, please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Gascoigne. Hello, I'm the Guitar Geek, and with me today, laughing on the other side of the camera, is James Gascoigne from homeoftone.co.uk. Hello, James.
Hi, Andrew.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm very well, thank you. You?
Very well. This is a bit of a dramatized version because we've already spoken on this chat and run through a few things. But you were my first chattee, my first sort of person I get to talk to on the internet. It's very exciting.
It's a pleasure.
So,
yeah, definitely.
Tell us about you, James. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, as I say, my name's James, and I run a small, essentially boutique, if you want to use that word, guitar shop based in the UK, online mainly. But yeah, I have my little showroom, which I'm sat in at the moment, come office, come workshop, and every little bit of space I need, basically. But yeah, so I mean, it's kind of, nice little, direct little music shop that, hopefully I can allow to grow and over time, but yeah.
You've got some beauties on the wall behind you. Do you want to just tell us what's over your shoulder?
Yeah. So first of all, that one's a Haynes Guitars, which is made in the UK. We're going to be doing a little bit more work together, but that particular guitar Neil built for the guitar show. Mm-hmm. So he fitted McNelly's to it and one of my harnesses to it, and it's got a lovely roasted flame maple neck, which oddly, I'll try and grab it off the wall for you, but I'm attached to the wall with the wires. But he's kind of done like a nice sunburst finish on the neck, which obviously normally you'd see just a plain maple neck and stuff. But yeah, it's cool. It's got a really like interesting like sparkle kind of flake finish to it. But yeah, that's kind of his take on a premium strap build, basically. So kind of all the gold hardware explained there, but fancy widths and whatnot. But yeah, so we built that for the show, and I've just been doing some videos, hence why it's here still.
And that's the Prism now, the blue one.
That's right, yeah. So that's the Prisma Toledo. So that's got the skateboard maple top quarter sawn. So it's got loads of very fine stripes, which you probably wouldn't see on this, but I'm sure if I'll send you some photos, you can pop them up. But yeah, so McNelly Pickups, mastery hardware, mahogany back and neck. Yeah. Lovely. It kills me having it on the wall behind me.
I'm sure it does.
And then these two are the Sunset Series models. So these are his more traditional guitars. So older body, maple neck. One's got a power faro board and one's ebony. McNelly Pickups again in a hardtail version and a tremolo version, mastery on that. Yeah, so these taunt me every single day because I want one so badly. But,
man, that must be terrible. You've got these guitars with you, and they're not yours.
Yeah.
I've never considered that. I mean, I'm in my room right now, and all these are mine if I want to do whatever I want to do with them. But that is awful. I am so sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's bittersweet. It really is. It's a dream come true. / kills me.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then just those are Titan Guitars by Kawa.
I didn't know that they were in the UK.
So,
I do follow Doug.
Yeah, these are the first two that came in the UK. Yeah,
the first two in the UK from Doug.
Yeah, well, I think there's been some private sales that have been sold direct with Doug, but these are the first dealer ones, which is cool. Yeah, and I think they have got a dealer for Kawa guitars in the UK. I think it's Coda Music, I think. But it's the first time Titans have been in the UK, which is really cool to do for him. So, and hopefully a few magazines will be getting them and whatnot soon. So we'll see where that goes. But it's exciting to play them. I was geeking out on those for quite a bit online. So.
I'm right there behind you, a long far distance away from having a Kawa near me.
Yes.
So that's awesome. I mean, that's satisfied my geek need already. But I want to talk about why we are talking now and how we got in contact with each other. And I've got a friend called Graham, and he sold me a Strat, and that's not the reason we're friends, but it's been on the channel, and I took it apart and messed with it and did all sort of stuff. We were on Facebook sending each other photos of Telecasters, as we do every day, and he sent me a photo of a string not quite reaching or where he thought on the post, and sort of asked me if he thought it was okay. And I always said I don't know, to be honest. It looks okay, but I can't answer the question. And then he sort of said, don't worry, it's sorted. And I said, what do you mean it's sorted? And he said, well, I contacted the guy that I bought the strings off. These are Gabriel Tenorio strings, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
And he said there's a guy called James at Home of Tone, or James's Home of Tone, sorry. And he's just offered to fix it all. If he needs to send me another string, he'll send me another string, and it's all sorted, and there's no problem. And I said, yeah, but it's Sunday. He said, yeah, he just sorted it in the minutes or seconds that we were chatting. And I was honestly gobsmacked at the service you provided. And then I looked at your website and I spoke to Gray about all this stuff. And I didn't know who you were or what you did, and did nothing. But it turns out you're a small business and a sort of curator of cool guitar stuff. And you make it available to people in the UK. Then I contacted you and said, hey, I just had to reach out and say, what an amazing service that is. And if anyone's watching this and wondering, is that really enough to reach out to somebody? It really is, because we're dealing with all these large businesses who I won't mention, and they're not so personal. And I think really there's no longer a hole in the market, but there's a hole that's being filled by people such as you, James, and offering that more personal service, almost like the wine recommender that I can't remember the word for. It begins with S. It's lost me. I should have to do some research.
I know what you mean.
So leave me in the comments. What's that word for someone that recommends wine? But that's how I thought of you when I started chatting with you. And first I just want to say thanks for supplying us guitar addicts with what we need, with our back alley.
Very welcome.
Good stuff. So that's why we're chatting, and I've got a growing channel, and I just want to help as much as I can James to push his business and grow, because it's people like this and like James that we should be supporting. This is homeoftone.co.uk, and it's a beautiful website for a start, James, and it just makes me want to buy something. The layout of the website makes it just very, very easy to read and very attractive to someone like me.
It is a labour of love, the website, though. I think my general OCD and strive to make it better, I'm tweaking kind of daily, really, but it is nice when people browse it and they compliment that. It feels kind of worth it then, worth the hours.
That looks wonderful. Because as you're let's say I don't want to use the word boutique, but a niche business maybe. Your stock is not huge, so you're not big like one of the Walmart of guitars.
No, and obviously I think that stems a lot from, an awful lot of the makers and products I'm supplying are made by, again, one-man teams, two-man teams. So I kind of it's fantastic and frustrating at equal measure, trying to keep the numbers high, keep the stock levels right. But that's just a learning curve as you get to know the brands you work with and what works for them, what I need to carry. But so it's kind of a tightrope walk at times, but it's kind of part and parcel of what the products are as well.
That is, you're not buying in sort of mass-produced instruments or
no
anything in that regime, which just lost it completely just looking at the website. Okay, I've got some questions to throw at you from the Guitar Geek Facebook group, which is www.facebook.com, the Guitar Geeks in the plural.
I need to get on there.
You'd be very welcome. But I've got some questions from the group, and the first one is from Graham himself.
Oh, wicked.
He says, James, you're stocking loads of other brands now. Are you planning on making any more of your own guitars in-house?
I would love to. I mean, that side of thing was more of a hobby. Graham has a parts caster type one I put together. It was a body I did and finished myself, but I think it was one of the all parts roasted maple necks, which I just finished the frets on nice, fresh ends and whatnot, and oiled it. But yeah, that guitar was very close to staying with me because I loved it. But yeah, I popped it up for sale, and I think Graham got in touch like the same day. So yeah, it was meant to be, I guess. But yeah, I would love to do them again. But again, financially, I think it's more of a hobby for me to do them, and I do understand it is my ability and what I could make is just a parts caster. So I felt that yeah, that wasn't really kind of worth pushing or really going for as such. But when money allows, I do the odd bit just to fulfill my own enjoyment of doing them, really. Yeah. But that one turned out ace. I love that one.
He's always sending me photos of it, and here it is in the garden, and here it is in the living room, and here it is in the nice sunshine. Well, thank you very much. Full of jealousy and envy.
About that
guitar. I didn't know it was yours until 2 days ago, actually. I didn't put the two together.
Okay.
You've been going since 2015. Is that how you started with parts casters, or how did you start?
No, well, the kind of inspiration did actually come from parts casters. I built myself I'd always had this particular Strat in mind that was just a completely blacked out Strat. At the time, obviously, it was accessible to do, but a complete Indian rosewood neck. I love those, like sort of like the George Harrison Telly or something like that. I love those full rosewood necks. So I wanted to do a blacked out Strat with the rosewood neck, and obviously something like that wasn't available. So I decided to do it as a parts caster, and I just browsing parts and whatnot. It's always, I mean, guitar playing's been a passion since I was 6. So I mean, it's a long time, but doing a parts caster build like that kind of opened my eyes to make me realise that I was where my passions lied and where my interests lied, and with the kind of handmade stuff, the luthier stuff, the different items out there to the mainstream. And browsing parts and coming across various pickup makers and stuff that I kind of hadn't really delved into that deeply before kind of sparked a bit of inspiration for me, really. And like off the back of that guitar, I thought, well, hang on, this is really sparked my interest. I really love this. And learning about all these boutique makers and whatever it may be in any instance of the guitar world, and I just loved it. And yeah, it kind of spiraled from there, really, researching direction I wanted to go down. So it was kind of initially spun from that. It wasn't meant to be a parts caster business, or that wasn't the intention, but it certainly inspired an aspect of it, I think.
It's a great place to start, because if something comes from a hobby, and speaking from personal experience regarding this channel, when you find that thing in life that makes you want to get up in the morning and do it, then by all means you've got to go do it.
Exactly, and that was precisely, I mean, obviously in terms of a guitar aspect, that was kind of what inspired me, but on a personal aspect, I was kind of at that point in life. I mean, I worked for a fantastic company. It was a friend's company for a number of years, and I love that job and I love the people I work with. But I mean, me and my wife were just about to get married when I was coming up with the ideas of the business. So life was really clicking into place in a sense, and I just felt that it was time to do something that really felt right. I mean, I love where I worked, but I needed something that I really, really loved, and that was me. That was more me. I could put my everything into. So it felt like a natural time to go that direction, I think. Financially scary, but yeah.
May I ask, is this your business now? That's your life? Is it your?
Yeah, it's my business.
That's what you do.
I mean, the odd days of mixing, working with alongside my dad, who basically, when I was looking, I started Homertone while I was still working full time. I did that up until last year. So I was working a full-time job and running the shop. So it was getting pretty tiring. And then when our little son came along, it really amplified how tired I was. But basically I was reaching the point where I was like, I really need to invest more time into this, purely because it was taking up so much of my time. I thought I need the days on it. And yeah, my dad gave me this chance to say, look, give it all the time you want, and if you need the odd day just to, if it gets a bit scary one week, then come and do a day with me. And that at the moment is giving me enough to give this a real go. Gives me the flexibility to really put my time into it when I need to. And then also, if there is a quieter day, or there's a day where I'm like, okay, if it hasn't been as good a month or anything like that, I mean, that is the realism. And to be honest, it was kind of scary because I thought I was alone in that kind of instance. And then the more I spoke to fellow small businesses in the guitar world, the more I realised that there's an awful lot of them in the exact same boat as myself, and we're in that boat for a number of years. But if it's a dream, you've got to make it work in whatever way you can. And I'm lucky. I mean, I've been doing this since 2015, and like I say, it's been my technically full-time role for a year now. And I'm still here, and that to me is enough of a kind of happy story to keep going. Yeah, but determination is definitely the key, really.
Yeah, and it seems like you've got a great support network as well, which is very important.
Yeah, it's very much a family affair. Yeah, I mean, it was. My wife's incredibly supportive with it, and my family are. When we do the guitar shows, they all pitch in and they're helping me on the stand. And without that, it just wouldn't grow. So, yeah, forever grateful for that.
It's a day out for the family.
Well, it is. It is.
you can write it off as a business expense.
So. Well, yeah.
I've got some more questions to throw at you, James.
Yeah, sure.
A real basic one from Graham. I'm almost disappointed by this question. What is your favorite? What is your favorite guitar amp?
Oh, favorite guitar amp. Well, at the moment, it's this little chap. See it there? Yeah. It was made by Rift Amps. Well, cut a long story short, basically, I used to have a Super Reverb, which I loved, absolutely loved it. But I made the mistake of, when I gigged with it, I used to use it on 10, and it sounded so good at 10 that kind of set the bar incredibly high and incredibly loud in equal measure. And so the combination of the noise from that thing and the weight, it was horrible to move around. I just needed something I could get as close to that tonally as I could, but smaller. Yeah. And I found out about Rift Amps. I can't remember exactly how. I think it was just general internet browsing that we all do. And I've read about this particular one, which is a Princeton Reverb circuit, but 18 watts, and with a single 12-inch speaker. But the speaker's a 75-watt rated speaker.
Okay.
So it's just got that little bit of extra headroom, like that little bit of extra leg to it. But you can move it around easy because it's tiny, and it still sounds huge. It's such a loud amp.
And what's the model name?
So it kind of taught me. It's a PR18.
PR18. So Princeton 18 watts.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And I love that. But I mean, I was at the stage where my shop was beginning to do more demos, just of the pickups and whatever else. And I just needed an amp that would take anything. That was the main priority. I was gigging less at the time. So the main priority was demo amplifier. And it just seems to take any pickup combination, any guitar combination, any pedal. I'm like, that's the perfect amp really for me at the moment.
Good.
But I have had a hankering for brown face era Fenders at the moment. But yeah.
So that's the problem with Gas, with gear acquisition syndrome, is you're never satisfied, and it's people like you taking our money from us and encouraging us to explore those desires. Because I mean, I have so many guitars, and I don't need half of the ones I have. But it's more of a journey, isn't it? This sort of
That's it, yeah. And I mean, it's funny, really. I started this shopping thinking, oh, this would be great. I'll be able to play loads of amazing things all the time, and I do get to play them, but I don't get to own them anymore because my collection got sold pretty much to fund the shop. So I had a few nice a vintage Gibson and a Dobro resonator, which I had since I was a kid, and a couple of Fender Strats and stuff. And my collection was, again, bigger than it needed to be, but all of that whittled down to one. My only guitar after I finished getting things moving was I had one guitar left. Yeah. to fund the shop. So that was what I needed to give it that bump to buy stock and whatnot. But yeah, so it's funny how it goes. But it's nice. It allows me to appreciate the little things when you've only got one of your own to play.
Well, you kind of led me into my next section of this interview, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I haven't thought of a real name for it yet. But imagine like it's Desert Island Discs, but with gear. So Desert Island Gear or something. And I've got I'll read you the premise, and then you can give me the answers. So it's Desert Island Gear. You're stuck on a desert island, but magically you're allowed to take one amp, one guitar, and one pedal with you. You can sort of wish for it out of thin air or something, and that's all you're allowed to have. Tuners, picks, and cables grow on trees all around you, so there's no need to worry about all of that. Cool. And there's an everlasting power supply of healthy green energy coming to you. So what do you choose? Guitar, amp, and pedal? What do you go for?
Would my amp be allowed to have reverb, or would that count as an effect? I'm being technical now.
I love that the first time we've done this, someone's come straight in with a question that I was... Answer a question with a question. Let's say yes. Your amp reverb comes by the bucket load. Yeah. You just have to refill it every day.
Cool. I'm happy with that then. Now it's funny because I've never really been much of a pedal guy growing up. I mean, I don't know why, other than maybe I just didn't experiment with it much as a kid. So effects kind of only really have become part of my life the past couple of years, really, and starting this and learning more. But the one I've really fell in love with, typically one off stock, but I genuinely love it, is the new Jackson Audio Prism. For just what is essentially a clean boost. I love the colouring on it, so you can set different presets, and it's just, for me, there's a mode called amp mode, and that's meant to be kind of a valve amp inspired boost. But that's the closest I've ever got to that super reverb on 10 at gigs. That's the closest I've got. So I'm like, for me, that's ace, because it means you can do it at not 45 watts on 10. So that would definitely be the pedal I'd take.
Okay, so you've got the pedal, which is the Prism Boost.
Yeah, Jackson Audio Prism, yeah. Amplifier, I think if it was a dream world, I think it would have to be some form of brown face Fender, because I do love my little Princeton reverb, which is based around the blackface circuit, and it is a jack of all trades. But I think what my ear loves is brown face era, and I love Chris does an amp that's the same Princeton reverb but the brown face era circuit instead, and that is, I love it. It's very cool. So yeah, let's go for Chris's. I don't know the name of that model, so forgive me there, but it's his brown face era Princeton reverb.
I'll put it as a caption on the screen now.
Yeah. And if it was any dream guitar, I'm going to point at it because I love it, is that one.
Wow.
That I'm trying to find a way to keep that because I adore it.
So which one is that? I've forgotten already. It's the hardtail.
That one's a Prisma hardtail, Sunset series. But basically the combination of, it's got the Strat inspired neck pickup, so it kind of ticks the box of all my years of growing up with a Strat. But then it's got the noise cancelling P90 in the bridge, so I can kind of tick a few boxes on that as well. But sometimes you pick a guitar up, as we all know, and it just fits, doesn't it? Like there's something about it. It just sat on your lap, whether it's the neck in your hands, the radius, the scale length, everything just works. And that one toying with me behind is one of them.
That's good to know. That's your three things.
Yeah, that'd be my three, I think. If it was electric guitar, I think it'd have to be those three things.
Okay, all right. Then let's just push it a bit further. If it was an acoustic, let's assume you can take a beach acoustic.
Yeah.
What's your acoustic 100%. Of choice?
My dream acoustics were Mule Resonator guitars, and basically a bit of a back trail here, but I was a huge fan of what Matt Ike was doing at Mule. Huge fan. And I reached a point where I thought, you know what, I'm going to put my name down. I'm going to put my name down for a deposit, have one on the list. And then myself and Emma were trying for a baby, and it happened much faster than we expected. And my Mule plans had to change a little. And I informed Matt. I said, I'm very sorry. Like, I understand deposit is lost, kind of thing, but like I can't go with the guitar. And he emailed back and said, well, you run a cool shop, don't you? Do you want to be a dealer for them? And I was like, yeah, that's a dream come true. Yeah,
double thumbs up there.
Yeah, so it was basically I got to play a range of these dream guitars that were coming through, and then the year just gone, I turned 30 and I got a Mule. So that my Mule, my number 257 serial number Mule would be my Desert Island acoustic for sure.
Wow. Okay, well, from what you said, you kind of have almost your Desert Island stuff with you.
It's as good as there, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, unfortunately, I only own one of them so far, but we'll get there one day.
I've said it before, but that would ruin me, man. So people that are watching this, please go and buy everything on James's website except the one that he wants to keep. The hardtail Sunset series. Yeah, buy all of them, but not that one. So then he can restock the shop and keep the one behind him.
At the guitar show in February, a couple of weeks ago, I even hid it around the back of the display stand. It was like at the back of the display, so no one saw it. If somebody asked, I'd show them, but it was like out the way of the other ones.
Peeking out. Sold. And then not sort of just out of shot. I've got a question from the group. It is from our mate Fletch, who's also known as Paul. I met you at the guitar show.
Oh, cool.
He says, "Say hi from me." So there you are, and ask him what his favourite bit of guitar kit, apart from a guitar, that he's found and stocks. So pickups, wiring, pedals, etc. We've done pedals, so what's your favourite non-guitar or pedal or amp thing that you stock?
I think a kind of real eye-opener for me was McNelly Pickups. Mm-hmm. Basically, Tim McNelly was the first overseas brand to really take me on board. He was the kind of one of the first brands that caught my eye for what he was doing, and I loved it. And yeah, getting the first sets over here, I was like, okay, it's a beautifully made pickup. You see that wherever. But I mean, they were lovely, and you could tell he takes care in the production of the pickup. But then I fitted a set and heard them. I was like, right, okay, this is what a guitar should sound like. Yeah. And it's kind of been every single one I've ever tried, whatever model or variation it is, I've just loved them. The dynamics and whatnot is just so attuned to my ear. Mm-hmm. And it seems to be the same for an awful lot of people as well. And as the word gets around, I feel the same. But I think that was the real game changer for me. It realised what a guitar should sound like, and you should get from it. And it kind of, that set the bar for me really. And that's what, like, hearing what his pickups create in a guitar has made me realise what to look for and what to listen for and what I kind of missed previously. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that was a big thing. But yeah, so I'm distributor for those now, in the hope that we can start getting them to some guitar makers, which is obviously starting to happen with that Haynes guitar and some of the makers. So this has been amazing. What started off as a 10-minute chat has turned into almost 45 minutes. And I just want to make sure that we know how to reach you. So we've got your website, which is homeoftone.co.uk on screen now. That's and right. Your email address is james@homeoftone.co.uk. That's right, yeah. I really don't want to stop this conversation, but I know that we can just do it again sometime. Yeah, man. And now I've downloaded Skype, we can do it again.
If you don't mind me saying, James was a little bit nervous about coming on camera and being recorded, and I think you've done an absolutely stellar job. And I've just sat here and listened and been thoroughly entertained. So thank you so much for joining me.
You were so kind to ask me, Andrew, and it did genuinely mean a lot for you to just message me in the first place, to literally just say thank you for your customer service to Graham. And it was just, that kind of meant a lot. I thought, you know what, I need to shake these nerves. I'm just not very good on camera. I don't do it on my own videos like without a lot of encouragement. So no, thank you.
No, you're most welcome. And as I said, currently the channel is relatively small, but I'm hoping that there are going to be some people watching this video and seeing you and seeing your passion for guitars, and from that alone, at least coming to you for something. A wiring loom maybe, or anything
cool,
at all, but not the one over your shoulder of your left hand.
No, that cream one stain here.
Exclusive. Okay, so we've got your details. It's homeoftone.co.uk and James at homeoftone.co.uk. I'm guessing you're also on Facebook with Home of Tone?
That's right, yeah. I think it's just facebook.com/James Home of Tone, I think, off the top of my head, but yeah, we're on there. And
I know you're on Instagram as well,
yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll put that all up on screen so people can grab it. It'll also be in the video description down below. So once again, if you need anything in this sort of area that we've been talking about tonight, then please visit James's website. James, thank you so much for talking to me.
Oh, you're very welcome, mate. Thank you.
Let's end it there. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you're watching this and you have a suggestion for someone that I can interview in the future, then please leave their name and contact details or some way that I can get hold of them down in the comments down below. If you are one of those people and you're a bit like James, then also leave a comment and I will get in touch with you. Thanks very much to James for doing this interview. Thank you to you for watching this. I'm the Guitar Geek. Please like, subscribe, buy a mug or a t-shirt, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.